Welcome back to MMAOddsBreaker. Today we got Brent Primus getting ready to fight Derek Anderson coming up on Bellator 140. We're about, about a month away right now from that?
Yeah, month out tomorrow.
Usually we don't bring this up during the interviews because we talk about it off air, but you haven't officially signed the contract yet for Bellator, right?
No, I have not. And it's a little worrying, but it should be any day.
So are you worrying because Bellator's dragging their feet, or are you worrying because Anderson's dragging his feet?
Well, I'm really worried because I thought I was fighting at the beginning of the year. So I've been in a training camp for like 5 months, and I'm just training my butt off for a long time. And they keep on saying next month, next month, next month. But they said, July 17th, Derek Anderson. So I'm just kind of just training hard and waiting for the contract.
Now, your last fight was back in March of 2014?
Yeah.
So why – you just said it's because they keep telling you next month, next month, next month, but that's a long time to put one of your athletes on the show.
I did have a little injury, and it took me out for like 3 months, but I've been ready to go for like over a year now, a year. So just kind of been training hard and just waiting to get the call.
Okay, so what's it like money-wise then? Because, most fighters, it's feast or famine. They feast when they fight because they have money coming in, and then otherwise they're starving. So how are you keeping your bills paid right now?
It's tough, man. Like, I'm definitely not rich right now, but I work for my grandpa. My grandpa, has like a logging company, and I just do side jobs whenever I can, as much as possible.
Did you just say logging company?
Yeah, my grandpa is like 70 years old, and he's still out there cutting trees down today. He's a savage.
You mean like that crap we see on Discovery Channel? Like
yeah, exactly.
That really, like, that's what your grandpa does, and that's what you do. In between.
Yeah, I mean, I just help him out here and there, but my grandpa has had that logging company since he's a little kid, and he goes out there with my uncle and my brother, and they it's like a family job, but he's 70 years old, climbing up mountains with a big chainsaw, cutting trees down. It's pretty impressive.
Hold on, your grandpa's 70 years old?
Yeah, he's my idol, man. He's the man. He's the man.
Wow, that's pretty awesome, especially still up there hugging lugging a chainsaw, a big tree cutting chainsaw, because everyone at home right now is saying, oh, it's just, whatever. It's like a chainsaw. It's like this big.
Yeah, no way.
It's a huge chainsaw to cut
Yeah, it's like
tree.
a 50-pound chainsaw. He's mobbing up the hills, and it's pretty. Wow. He's a badass.
What's the worst thing that you've ever heard of or seen during a day? Like your grandpa's come home and go, wow, today this thing happened, like, during accident-wise.
Well, my grandpa's really strict when I go out with him. I have to be exactly where he wants me to be at any time. My grandpa has actually had all of his brothers die on the job, with him. That's like, I think there's 4 or 5 brothers that's passed away on the job site with him. So it's definitely a really dangerous job, and he knows that. So, it's definitely crazy.
You're 30, right?
Yeah, I just turned 30. Getting old, man.
Does your grandpa know you're 30, that he can't really, like, talk to you like you're 12? Like, does he get that?
To him, I'm still just a little kid.
Yeah. Does he yell at your uncle the same way that he yells at you?
Oh, yeah. He's the boss.
Good. What's the pay like? Is that if you were to work full-time during a training camp, would you make as much money as you would fighting, or are you still making more money fighting?
I think the pay is pretty good, like I know my brother's working for him full time right now, and he's kind of on a salary, getting a couple $100 a day at least, so it's not bad.
So you could almost make just as much money carrying a chainsaw around every day as you could fighting. Pretty much,
at least right now. Not until once I get the belt and start making some real money, then it's gonna change,
Yeah, but I gotta be honest with you, fighting's a lot safer.
Yeah.
If I had to choose between the two, I'm definitely gonna fight. There's no way I'm about cutting trees down. So let's talk about Derek Anderson then. That's your next opponent coming up. He's 12-1. Is that right?
Yep.
Break his style down for us and tell us what you think he's gonna try to do to you when the fight starts.
I don't really know too much about him. I've watched a couple of his videos. I know he's a really tough guy. He's like 6 foot. He's got like a little reach. He likes to stand and bang, and he's got some good stand up. I think he's going to try to keep it to the feet and, try to knock me out. But I'm fine with that. I've been training with really good guys lately, top-notch guys, some of the best guys in the world. So I feel really comfortable in any situation right now. And, I feel like I can knock him out just as easy as I can, take him down and choke him.
Well, let's look at your record. You're talking about knockouts. You're 5-0 at this point. You have 4 submissions, all of a rear naked choke, and you've only got 1 TKO, which was your last fight over a year ago.
Yeah.
But you're still thinking that you're gonna be able to knock out Derek on his feet.
You know, it's crazy because like as my amateur, I was 7-1 as an amateur, and 6 of those were knockouts and TKOs. And when I was an amateur, I didn't like to go to the ground at all. I just like to stand and bang, and that's what I was doing. I was knocking everybody out in the first round, and then I got my black belt, and then I went pro, and I just kind of, you know, I just knew my ground game was superior to pretty much a lot of people, and so I just knew if I took him to the ground, then it's pretty much they're in my world.
So is that what's going to happen with Derek? But you're saying you want to knock him out on your feet. Don't you think that at some point you're going to have to go back to your bread and butter, which right now, at least in the pro league, now amateur is different, but right now in the pro league, your bread and butter is the ground game. Like you're finishing everybody. Let's see here. First round. You haven't gone out of the first round yet in your pro career. You finished everybody inside the first round with a rear naked choke, except for your last fight, Chris Jones, and you knocked him out in the first round.
Yeah.
So. Are you going to go back to your bread and butter? You're going to go with what brought you to this level, which is having that threatening submission game?
Yeah, I mean, I know that's why I'm here. You know, I'm in the Bellator because I have good ground game and I train hard, and like I'm so comfortable on the ground. Like I feel like I can pull guard and dominate on the ground. So if it goes to there, and if I'm standing up with him, and you know I feel like he's getting a good couple punches on me or whatever, obviously I'm gonna go to my bread and butter and take him down and jits him.
Now, how long have you been a fan of the sport? Like, are you a fan of the sport? Like a lot of fighters now are like they're not really fans of the sport. But they're great fighters. It's just how they are.
Yeah, for sure. No, I always have. Like, well, actually, when I first watched the UFC, like so long ago, I was like, holy shit, those guys are crazy. I will never do that. I thought it was insane. And then I just started training, and my buddy started doing jiu-jitsu, and he's like, Brent, come to the gym. You need to train. And I went down to the gym and got my ass beat by all these little dudes throwing their legs over my head, choking me. I was like, what the hell is this? And I fell in love with it. And at the time I was like 18 or 19 and I had a landscaping business. And I sold my landscaping business, sold everything, all my clients, and just started training full time. And I fell in love with it. And it just all happened from there pretty much.
So as a fan of the sport, one of the biggest problems that fighters have, is that they forget what their bread and butter is and go to something else. Like
for sure.
Most wrestlers are like, hey, you can't take me down, but I can hit you hard, so I'm going to go ahead and stay on our feet. We think we're boxers, and all of a sudden we're getting knocked out. Like it's the biggest problem. Does that factor into your training camp at all? It's like, hey, like I'm a good submission guy, but my amateur career, I knock guys out, so I'm kind of a mixed guy. Does that factor into your training camp of like, I can submit guys, but I can also knock them out too? For
sure. I mean, I try to be as well-rounded as possible. Like if there's anything in my game that I feel is lacking, then I just try to train that until it's, evens out with everything. I try to be well-rounded at everything. And I feel like my striking right now is really good. I'm training with, really good Muay Thai guys, boxers, and top-notch guys, everywhere. So I feel great right now. And I feel like I can win this fight wherever it is, whatever.
You win this fight decisively. Where is this going to put you within the hierarchy of Bellator? Like, are you one fight away from being in from a title fight? You 2 fights away? Like, what's going to happen?
Man, I feel like Derek Anderson is a tough opponent. I feel like he's one of the top guys in Bellator at 155 right now. He beat Patricio Pitbull, so I know he's one of the top guys. And so I feel like if I beat him, then I should be up in the title contentions somewhere, two fights or whatever, Mm-hmm.
So close. And that's what I believe too. I think that you win this one, you might have to win one more, and then you'll be in for the title hunt for sure. They don't have much else, and you're kind of clearing out the division. Especially if you're undefeated and you're going in you're 6-0, it's gonna be time for it'll be time to go. Okay, we kind of got to think about putting Brennan for a title shot. At 7-0, they have no choice. They kind of got to put you in there, or they're trying to hold you for something different. And then at that point, you got to rethink your contract structure. If they're gonna keep you out of title fights, that's where the big money is when you're the champ.
For sure.
That's how it works. So, Brent, thanks for coming on here, man. I really appreciate it. It's been good to talk to you. Stay safe out there when you're logging.
Yeah, man. I just want to say it's awesome talking to you, man. Like I've been watching you before I knew how to throw a jab, like back in the day, man. It's pretty cool to talk to you. And also, congratulations on getting inducted to the UFC Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
That's quite the accomplishment, man. It's awesome.
You. Yeah, it's been a surreal trip for me, man. It's been pretty awesome. It's been a pretty awesome ride so far since they made the announcement.
Hell yeah, man. That's like a lifetime, goal come true right there. That's pretty cool.
Definitely a dream come true for me, for sure.
For sure.
All right, thanks, bro. I appreciate it so much, bro. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Frank.